I'm really pleased to be doing this. I was talking to Sandy Gallagher, my partner, just earlier this morning, and we were talking about how important this training is. Do you know, money is one of the biggest problems that people have, the shortage of it. I wrote a book here in 1984 called You Were Born Rich. The truth is everybody is born rich. Most people are just a little short of money. Now, all the money in the world is available to us. All we have to do is earn it. And I've learned how to earn it. I've earned millions of dollars. I have worked all over the world. And what I do is so simple, anybody can do it, but not everybody does. It's a strange thing. We have such phenomenal opportunities staring us in the face, and we don't act on them. A lot of people think you have to be really smart if you're going to earn a lot of money. That's not true. I'm not really smart. I may be a little smarter than I was when I started this, but I sure wasn't very smart when I started it. I was going backwards. I owed everybody money. I couldn't pay them what they owed them. Not that I was dishonest. I just didn't earn enough money to pay the people. And my life was going backwards. It never entered my mind that I could change my life. Now, just look here. We've been at this for 60 years. 60 years. Now, Sandy hasn't, but I have. She's been at it 15 years. In the 15 years she's been at it, she made an enormous difference in this. See, she understands how to work with money. She was a securities attorney, a very bright gal. So let's look at this. We're going to spend this 5 days, an hour a day, causing $1 million to look small. See, a lot of people think $1 million's a lot. $1 million's not very much at all. I mean, you can go through $1 million like that. We've got to understand it's not a lot. First of all, nothing's big or nothing's small. Everything just is. We make it big or small. So look here for a moment. Results are the name of the game. You've really got to pay attention to the results you're getting. However, although you pay attention to results, you cannot let results control you. You've got to control results. When you let results control you, you're toast. You're just going to lose. Results must never be in control of you. And that's really one of the big problems that people make. And you're going to see how that works. See, people are focused on their results. See, when I first picked up this book, a man gave me this book. And he said, do exactly what I tell you, and you can have anything you want. Well, of course, I didn't believe that. You can have anything you want. That's preposterous. You can't have anything you want. But the beautiful truth is you can. I didn't believe it, but I believed he believed it. And I think that's what tricked me into watching and listening to the guy. Now, I was 26. I wasn't a little kid. I'm 26, you're still pretty young, especially if you're looking at it from where I'm sitting. Now, 26 looks like you're a baby. But at any rate, I mean, I had been around. I had been working since I was 15. I was earning $4,000 a year, and I owed $6,000. I was going backwards. And I was letting the results control me. Now, the first thing he had me do is write a goal. God, I got 3 or 4 goal cards here now. He said, decide what you want, write it on a card, carry the card in your pocket, and read it as often as possible. Well, all I wanted was some money. Well, he says, how much money? How much? I mean, I didn't know how much. It's $25,000. I didn't know anybody with $25,000. I really did not know anyone with $25,000. I mean, if I had taken all the money, if from all the guys I hung out with and put all the money that we had together, we wouldn't have had 25,000. I mean, it was just a preposterous number. It was like $1 million. And he said, write it on the card. And the top of it, you've got to write where you want it. So you've got a blank card here. It says, my goal, by, date's blank. And then, I am so happy and grateful now that, and you write it in the present tense. The only thing you don't know is the date. You're guessing at the date. No one knows how long it takes for an idea to move into form. Now, listen to this for a moment. I had $25,000 in there. I did not believe it. But you know when it did? He said, now keep reading it. And I hadn't followed instructions, anybody's instructions, up to that point. But I started to read it. Now, you know what it did? It got me thinking of earning money. And you say, well, weren't you thinking of it before? No, I wasn't. I was thinking of debt. I wasn't thinking of earning money at all. This got me thinking of it. And I heard somebody say there's good money cleaning floors. I said, hell, I'm not proud of cleaning floors. So I started cleaning floors. I started cleaning one office. Canada Starch on Comstock Road in Toronto. I got $15 time for washing the floor, and I washed it twice a month. Then I got another contract, Kirby's Construction on Wicksteed Avenue. I got $65 a month for washing their floors. Now I'm up to $95. Now I was only earning $400 a month. So you see, I had a 25% raise, and I had lots of time. So I did this. Well, do you know, it wasn't too long until I was earning $12,500 a month. Now, if you annualize that, that's $175,000 a year. I went from $4,000 a year to $12,500 a month in less than a year. What was happening? I was shifting what was going on in my mind. Everything started to change. Now look at Mikey that just introduced me. She said this the other day. I thought it was classic. Most people don't even look at their results because they don't like them. Mikey Steller said that. She's our Chief Operating Officer. Now, I think that's so true. Most people don't look at their results because they don't like them. And it never enters their mind they're in control. They can change the results. Now look at. I want you to ask yourself a question. This is a really important question. What is the most you've ever earned in a year? Think of it. What's the most you've ever earned in a year? Get real honest with yourself here. This deal is strictly between you and yourself. No one else is involved. So forget anybody else listening to you or watching you. We're all so damn concerned with what other people think. First of all, it's none of our business what anybody else thinks. Terry Whitaker wrote a book on that. That was the title of it. What you think of me is none of my business. She's right. Let's take this really seriously. Listen, when I got this book, I was broke. I was 26. I was 87 the other day, and I'm still going strong. But when I got this, I had nothing. I wouldn't pay attention. If I wouldn't have been listening to me. I didn't pay attention to anybody. But for some reason, the guy that gave me the book got my attention. He always had money. I never had any. Money was an enormous problem. This is very, very important. You've got to do this by yourself. You've got to get real honest. This deal is strictly between you and yourself. Now look at. Take some time alone. Become super honest with yourself. What is the most you've ever earned? And what do you want to earn? What do you really want? Don't just pick a number out of the air. What do you want to earn? What would you really like to earn? I do earn millions of dollars. And you know something? I love it. And I want to earn more. I do a lot of good with money. I give a lot of money away. I give it away where it's needed. My whole life has changed. It's the same guy, still haven't gone to school, 2 months high school. If you really put me through some kind of an IQ test, I'd probably come out about the middle of the road. There'd probably be half the class would be smarter than me and half wouldn't be as smart. See, I don't think I'm that bright. I really don't. You got to get real honest. And you got to look after it. I didn't do that. Do you know in less than 5 years I was cleaning offices in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, London, England. I was earning over $1 million a year. Now here I am over in England. I mean, I love London. I just wanted to go there. So I went there and I started a business. And by that time, I knew I could go and do anything I wanted. And so I started a business. And I was just throwing the money all over the place. And I've told the story many times on air. I'd go down to the Playboy Club on Park Lane. It was right beside the London Hilton. And I'd go in down and play roulette, and I didn't care if I lost, and I usually won. One day, I come out of there, and I thought, I'm not being very responsible. And I went through this truth session with myself, and I think that's what made me aware of just how important it is. I was alone. I was sitting by myself figuring and thinking of this. And I'm thinking, how did I change? What happened to me? My life was like night and day. It was like night and day. And I couldn't figure out how I changed. I couldn't even find anybody who could tell me. Look at. Targets are good for the soul, yours and mine. You got to have a real good goal. You got to have something you're really going after that you really want. I knew that. You know what my goal was? To find out why I changed. That was very important because all of a sudden I realized I wasn't being very bright. I was doing very well, but acting pretty stupid. There was nothing responsible about how I was acting. Do you know it took me 9.5 years to figure out exactly why I changed, how I changed? Because the change was enormous. It was like a metamorphosis that had taken place. I was pretty much of a loner. When I was working with, I'd be working with the people. But I spent a lot of time alone. I spent a lot of time thinking. I really was into reading and listening to recordings. When I figured out why I changed, all I wanted to do was share it with other people. It is so simple that most people miss it. They don't believe it. You've got to have a goal. You've got to have a target you're shooting at. Targets are good for the soul, yours and mine. Make no mistake about it. $1 million. The magic number. We've written songs about it. We go around, what would you do if you won $1 million? Most people don't know what they do. When they start telling you what they do, they need about 10 million, maybe 20 to do some of the things you're going to do. $1 million, understand this, is not very much. It's not very much. Now, do you seem to think it's a lot? Does that seem like a lot of money? I want you to understand $1 million is not very much money. It is not very much money. You want to reduce it in your mind. Cause it to look small. And if you'll do that, you can start winning. Now look it. I want you to really think. If you earn $20,000 a week, for 50 weeks, you earn $1 million a year. If you are earning $40,000 a week for just 25 weeks, you're earning $1 million a year. If you earn $60,000 a week for 16.6 weeks, you're going to be earning $1 million a year. Earn $80,000 a week. I'm going to tell you something, a lot of people are earning $80,000 a week. If you just do it for 12 and a half weeks, you've earned $1 million. And then bingo, look at this. If you earn $100,000 a week, you only have to work for 10 weeks and you've got $1 million. Now you're sitting and saying, well, Bob, big deal, I can do the math. You can do the math, but you see, you don't do the math. That's the problem. If you did the math, this is like magic. If you do the math repetitiously, you reprogram your paradigm. That's one thing I had done. I used to carry a little calculator. I've seen me on a plane from Toronto to Kuala Lumpur. It's 25 hours in the air. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would just work with the calculator. I keep working with the calculator. I was playing with numbers. I changed my paradigm completely. I don't think of anything as a lot anymore. You see, you're programmed to think. Somebody else programmed you. You didn't program yourself. You didn't build that paradigm. You got a paradigm in your subconscious mind that causes you to think $1 million is a lot of money. It's not. It's a little bit of money. This is like magic. If you'll do the math repetitiously, keep playing with this. Listen, I was on a plane going to KL. I had a pad. Where's my pad? Here's the pad here. I love these pads. I'll buy them in England. I buy them from Smithson. Okay? I had a pad like this, and my pen, and my calculator. All the way from Toronto to KL, I was working with numbers. I put 1 and 6 zeros after it. It was 100. And I thought, what's the difference in people that earn $1 million? I'd earn $1 million. What do they do? What's the difference in people that earn $1 million? And I kept playing with it. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, they just don't have one income. Then I started thinking of the people that I knew that was earning $1 million. Then I got an idea. I'm going to get a hold of Mark Victor Hansen. The second I land in KL, and I got an idea, and I phoned him. I woke him up in the middle of the night, but I got him excited. I said, Mark, let's you and I start a seminar. We'll call it the $1 Million Forum, and we'll teach people to earn $1 million by setting up multiple sources of income. Well, I don't think he went to sleep for 2 days. And so we started and we planned this. We brought Jack Canfield into it, Bernie Dorman, Lee Poulos, a number of people. And we put on this $1 Million Forum. Okay? It was a whole week, a week long. We did it in the best hotels, the Ritz-Carlton hotels. First one was actually in the Laurentians in Quebec in the mountains. The next one was at the Laguna Niguel Ritz-Carlton. Absolutely phenomenal environment. This is where Chicken Soup for the Soul books came from. Multi-million-dollar idea. And we're working with ideas. I wouldn't even want to guess the number of people that earned $1 million to come out of that. You see? What we were doing was playing with numbers. It's like magic. You've got to play with the numbers a lot. I don't care if you're broke. Get your calculator and start playing with the numbers. Do you know the beautiful part about a calculator when you're playing with numbers? Here, let me show you something. What the hell did I do here? Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, here's my calculator. Look at. You can put 8 numbers on your calculator. You can put 9 numbers. You can put 100 million on here. Most little calculators can't do that. And when I started to do this, I realized, baby, we got something going here with this phone. Okay? Now, if you play with numbers, I guarantee you're going to blow your mind with what happens.